We do have a few things going on in the world right now that might cause the stock market to be a little jittery. We're trading in the flat zone for another day here today, and maybe you could call it consolidation. I mean, we are put, right up against all-time highs on the various equity indices. But the good news just keeps flowing in. We'll talk about the PPI in a minute. We'll talk about the job numbers in a minute. It seems like things are really pretty darn good right now. So what's happening? Why are we in a consolidation phase? Is this just a spring being loaded? And maybe if the Iran thing goes away over the next few days, we might see the overall markets with with a little happy dance. We'll see what happens. All I can tell you is right now we are trading around break even for Tesla and the rest of the market. Now, predictably, I mean, come on now, you knew this was going to happen. Various mainstream media reports are out today saying that Tesla missed its start date in Austin for the robotaxi rollout. Oh, this is, you know, it's just expected. What's wrong with these people? There was never an official day mentioned by Tesla until actually a couple of days ago when they finally said that the 22nd will be the official day, probably. They didn't say definitely. They said they're going to be very, very cautious. You would think that the mainstream media would think that being cautious about such a thing would be wise and maybe give Tesla some credit for caution. But no, they want to say that they missed the date that Reuters chose. Tesla never, ever said the 12th. There is not a single official notice with regard to the 12th. This was a made-up date by Reuters. And then now they're going to, suggest that somehow Tesla missed their date. All right, now here's the next thing. We still have people out there, lots of people, not just Gary Black, who should know better by now. He's heard it. He was in a debate with other Tesla people the other day. It's almost like he's hearing only the arguments he wants to hear, and he's not hearing the other arguments. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to let me know what in the world am I getting wrong here. I want to know how in the world Uber, even if they got autonomy, which I don't think they're going to, but for the purposes of the argument I'm going to make right now, I'm going to assume that Uber gets autonomy from somewhere. I don't know where, but somehow they're going to get the drivers out of the seat so they don't have to pay for a driver. They're going to get autonomy. Waymo, of course, does have autonomy right now. So that's the best comparison that you can possibly make. But anyway, here's a list of, I think it's 9, we'll see, 9 issues that I think just completely destroy the potential for anybody else to get close to Tesla in a decade. So let's just start with, if I, remember now, I have a little bit of background. I've opened and I've founded and run over 40 companies. I have consulted with over 400 small companies. I've written multiple books on small business. So, and I've introduced I've never counted it up, but I think it's got to be over 1,000 products and new services in my lifetime. So here's kind of what I would look at in terms of this company if I were trying to analyze it. So let's start with robotaxi's cost of goods. This is a huge one. The Tesla fleet, let's not even talk about the Airbnb version, but to the extent that Tesla puts out their own fleet, which they could choose to just do that 100% and never have an Airbnb version, but so Tesla's fleet will be made up of vehicles that Tesla makes themselves. Now, if that was all, and therefore Google and Waymo and Uber and Lyft don't make their own vehicles, they have to buy them from somebody else, that would be an immediate advantage. It would be a huge advantage in terms of the cost of goods. But no, it goes way beyond that because Tesla is acknowledged as the number one most superior manufacturer. I mean, the best manufacturer in the world in terms of all manufacturers, much less car manufacturers, in terms of getting their costs very, very, very low. And that's just assuming the cars that they have now, the Model 3, the Model Y. We've got the more affordable vehicle that should be coming along any minute. And then, of course, we've got the Cybercab coming, which is apparently going to cost less than $16,000. Larry Goldberg said the other day, less than $15,000, according to his analysis, to manufacture. Well, right now, as far as we know, Uber and Lyft and Waymo and anybody else that's going to buy these vehicles, especially if they're going to put LiDAR on them, are going to cost them 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000. I don't know the real number anymore. All kinds of people trying to guess what that number is, but it's at least on the order of, let's call it $50,000, probably more like 65. And Tesla, of course, can build a car for in the 20s. How do they compete with that? Well, so we got double the cost per day, per cent, cents per mile. Now that's dramatically changes the whole equation when it comes to what you sell the service for. Okay, if I've got a service and I know that I'm going to pay twice as much for the basic, product that's going to make most of my costs, which is the depreciation on that vehicle, I'm already at a huge disadvantage. I wouldn't go in that business. I wouldn't even think about it. Number two, the longevity of the car. Teslas will be operating longer. They will last longer than any of these other vehicles. There's just not even a question. Probably on the order of 30 to 40% longer, maybe even more than that. The batteries will last longer. Everything about them will last longer. That will further cut the cost per mile, the cents per mile. Number three, Tesla has a charging infrastructure where they're going to be buying their energy at wholesale. All the other competitors will have to pay retail. They're going to have to go into, well, they can go into a Tesla location and charge up, I guess, but otherwise they're going to go into some of these competitors, which don't even work that well. They're going to have to pay something on the order of 3 cents to 6 cents a mile more for energy than Tesla is, because Tesla will be buying wholesale. And that's even before Tesla could, at any moment, they could just decide to do this. They could put in solar 100% and batteries 100% for charging their vehicles, and they could all of a sudden be paying even less than wholesale. So let's call wholesale across the country, maybe wholesale is 6 cents, maybe it's 7 cents, maybe it's 8 cents. On average across the country, retail is around 12 cents or more, could be 25, 50, depending on what kind of deals Waymo makes or Uber makes with these various companies. But clearly, Tesla could put in solar and all of a sudden their cost goes almost to zero. You just have to depreciate the solar and the batteries. Anyway, that's a massive additional difference. So then number four, Tesla has a repair and maintenance infrastructure in place. Larry Goldberg said the other day in various reporting I saw him doing that there's over 200 service centers. Then we have all of the retail sales locations. You have all of the charging stations around the country, around the world, actually. So if I don't know why I'm the only one that talks this way. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on this. If I am Tesla and I have a fleet and I need my fleet to get charged up, I'm going to send it at 2 a.m. to a charging station in wherever the closest place is. Or I'm going to send it to a service center and get it charged. Or I'm going to send it to one of the, what do you want to call it? One of the sales centers. I'm going to send it to one of these locations. Some people, I forget who it was, said the other day that they would send it to the service locations because they can do it on the trickle chargers rather than on the fast chargers. Okay, maybe that's going to save some battery. I'm not sure that's going to matter over time. It may be way better to send it very close where it can be charged in 20, 25 minutes at a fast charger and cleaned at the same time in that location, whereas everybody else is going to have to pay third parties, or they're going to have to rent or buy land, set these kind of deals up, or where are they going to do these cleanings for thousands and thousands and thousands of vehicles? Well, I mean, they're already doing it now, but as they expand, they're going to have to continually pay more for all of that than Tesla is. All adds to the cost per mile. Now, then let's talk about the demand side. Tesla has a built-in customer base of at least 10 million in the United States, at least 10 million. That would be all the car owners, their families, okay, the stockholders and their families, and then there's the fans and their families. So in terms of getting people to upload the app, it should be very, very easy for Tesla to get millions and millions and millions of people to upload the app. So if I'm deciding if my car is going to the shop because I don't have a Tesla, so I'm not going to get an instant loaner. If I have a different kind of car, I got to put it in the shop, but I'm a Tesla fan, and I need a loaner or I need to get home, I'm going to use the Tesla app. If I'm out of town and I need to rent a car, to use a cab of some kind of ride hail, I'm going to use a Tesla because I got the app right there. Also, Tesla can give small incentives to get people to get their friends to upload the app. Elon could announce incentives to his 200 million people that follow him, giving small incentives to upload the app. I mean, it's not even close. The other guys, Uber and Lyft and Waymo, have nothing like this in terms of their ability to get people on the app. Then we have the number 7, Elon's 200 million followers. Of course, not only for getting people to upload the app, just to make them aware. Just the awareness is a big deal. Number 8, as the deployment goes national, Tesla has the ability to add 1.5 million vehicles per year in the US to their fleet if they chose to. So if they decide not to sell to people anymore, not to sell any cars anymore, and they're only going to do their own fleet, they're right now, they have the capacity to make at least 1.5 million vehicles in the United States. So they can turn all of those into cybercabs or into robotaxis. No other company, any company has the ability to do that. It's not even close. So if it turns out that Tesla's needs that kind of capacity, if there's that many people that are interested, they can just turn it on. It's just easy. Of course, he can also turn on the Airbnb version. There's a couple of million vehicles in the United States and 6, 7, 8, 9, I forget how many vehicles now around the world that can immediately be turned into robotaxis just by an over-the-air update or just by pushing a thing on your app. Tesla vehicles can be deployed anywhere without mapping or other costly preparations of the city that they're going to go into, just anywhere on the planet at this point. And Tesla, of course, has massive data capabilities as number 10, massive data capabilities and a massive data center. Now, Google has massive data also, but I don't know how much of it is dedicated to these kinds of activities. And this is training real world AI. I don't think that Google is devoting much of their resources to that, whereas Tesla is the largest in the world by a lot. I forgot to mention that Tesla's advantage in terms of making the cars less expensive will get even greater over the next 12 months as Optimi are placed in the plants, which will further reduce their costs by a lot, quite frankly. Tesla Chan has this morning. He says, breaking, Tesla has officially released a video of full self-driving being tested in Rome, Italy. We go, he says. This is a Tesla official video of Teslas being tested in Rome, Italy. All right. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, subscribe, and notify. And today we will have Cern Basher at 7:45, and we will have Bradford Ferguson at roughly 5:15, 5:30, something like that. Please join Patreon if you don't mind. Politico has this morning. Almost 2/3 of filers, this would be filers of taxes, are in line to receive, this is filers of taxes in the United States, almost 2/3, that would be if I'm 1/3 and you're 1/3 and somebody else is another third, 2 out of the 3 of us are going to get an extra $1,200 next year in terms of our refund on our tax return. This is according to the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center, and it's being reported by Politico, which is a left-wing rag. Though these figures can be pared back by the center, they're not going to be pared back. This is what it's going to be. Republicans are already touting these numbers to voters, duh. So, yeah, another big win. So in the week ending June 7th, this is the PPI, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims. Well, I'm sorry, this is not the PPI. This is the initial jobless claims. The advanced figures for seasonally adjusted claims was 248,000. That was unchanged from last week, which was revised up from 247 to 248. The moving average was 240,000. That is up 5,000. Obviously, if you have 2 weeks in a row at 248, that'll do that. This is the highest level for the average since August of 2023, when it was 245, and the previous week's average was revised. The average was revised up also by 250. The total number of continued weeks claimed for benefits in all programs for the week ending May 24 was actually decreased by 20,000 after a decrease last week also. So we have decreasing numbers. Even though we have increasing numbers of people going on unemployment, we have decreases in the number of people that are staying on very long. So that's kind of a mixed deal. Not 100% sure how, but we had the employment data just last Friday and it was fine. Come on, Fed. Okay. Oh, Fed. Oh, here's the producer price index. Producer price index for final demand, 0.1% up in May, seasonally adjusted, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Final demand prices declined 0.2% in April, and they declined 0.1% in May. On an adjusted basis, the index for final demand was 2.6% for the 12 months in May. Why is it 2.6%? Oh, because last year under Joe Biden, it was over 3%. So right now, what we have is 4 months in a row of outstanding results under President Trump. The May increase in the index for final demand was led by prices for final demand services. They advanced 0.1%. The index for final demand goods rose 0.2%. Prices for final demand less foods, energy, and trade was also up only 0.1% in May after falling 0.1% in April. And for the 12 months ended in May, that increase was 2.7%. I've already told you why it's still up at 2.7 is because of last year. I also went back and checked the core CPI reported yesterday. We now have 6 months in a row of under 2%. What does the Fed need to see? 6 months in a row, core is under 2%. They said over and over again that they were going to lower the interest rates before we got to 2%. No, we're under 2% for 6 months in a row. By the way, the president has been, there's reports out there that the president's approval numbers are going down. They are not. Rasmussen, which is the only poll I trust, because they poll every single day and they poll significant numbers and they poll with reasonable splits in terms of Republicans, Democrats. Rasmussen is showing that the president's numbers are still at 53% approval, which is high. It's very, very good. Much better than Biden's numbers, much better than his numbers in the first term. Let's take a look at what has happened to the market in the meantime. Well, Tesla, which has been bouncing up and down around break even, is now up 0.2%. The Dow, which has been doing the same, is now down 0.03%. NASDAQ, which has been doing the same, although it's been a little bit better, is up 0.23%. The S&P is up 0.24%, sitting at 6,036. Again, we're within 100 on the S&P, breaking all-time highs. We got the Magnificent Seven is mostly down. Microsoft, NVIDIA up, and Tesla up a little bit, and then the rest are down. Cathie Woods also split, half up, half down. Let's take a look at the bonds. We have got the bonds right now sitting at the yields on the 10-year down 3.7 basis points to 4.377. This is good news, going in the right direction here. We've got oil prices down again this morning, down 0.53 cents at 67.62. So apparently the oil prices were up also over the last couple of days because of all the kerfluffle over with Iran, Israel, Iran, etc. But they're down now this morning. I guess either people are feeling that they've got enough hedge in there for that now, or potentially things are quieting down a bit. Natural gas up 1.88 this morning, but still sitting right in the middle of its range, $3.57. Gold way up this morning. I'm guessing maybe geopolitical risks are creating that. Gold is up $58, back to 3,400, and silver has continued to go back up again at up 0.2, $36.33. Copper up 0.58, closing in again on $5 at $4.84. The dollar hits a 2025 low, but remember, that's the headline. It's hitting a 2025 low, but the reality is it ain't very low. It's really quite strong. Bitcoin down 1,218 at 107,555. And we've got, that's it. That's everything. That's all I tell you about each and every day. So as I mentioned, Nicholas Gibbs later today around 5:15, 5:30, 7:45 will be Cern Basher. Of course, both of those will be outstanding. So you have to look forward to those. But notify, got it. In order to notify, you have to be subscribed. And then, of course, hitting the like button is just a friendly thing for you to do. Last night, we had Brian White on again, and he and I had a fun time talking about potential. What did we talk about last night? I don't remember, but I know it was really good. I'm going to put the card right here. That's all I got for you right now. It has been great talking to you.